Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm going to do a review on this Gravely ZTX 42-inch cut. We're at 500 hours. Keep on watching. We got a whole lot of pros, we got a few cons. Overall, I'm happy with the machine. I would buy it again. It's a good machine. We're at a little over 500. We're at 512.6. So I missed the mark a little bit, but that's all right. But yeah, I got a lot of good things to say about this machine. Let's start with the good, and then I'll tell you about the few things that I thought were kind of bad. So the first thing I have wrote down here is the seat, which I'm sitting in here. You can't see it, but it's super comfy. And the armrests. So we've got armrests, and you can put them up if you don't want to use them. They will come down if you hit a bunch of bumps. They'll come right on back down on you. Oh yeah, you got some armrests, nice comfy seat. Not too bad. So with the 42-inch cut, we fit through almost every gate, which is pretty important. You know, most of the gates I have to barely squeeze through. So it'd be nice to have a little bit of a bigger mower, a bigger deck for some of the bigger properties, but a lot of the properties we cut, I'm super happy to have this 42-inch. So the deck, it goes up to 4.5 inches, or it goes as low as 1.5. One thing I like about it, it's got the design of the pedal. You push on the pedal, pull out the pin, and you can put it wherever you want to put it. I usually cut around 3.5. On my weeklies, I do 3.5 most of the time. So, anyways, it's got a little storage compartment over here. Pop that little thing out there, and you got a little toolbox. And you've got access to your pulleys and your belts, your spindles over here. It can help to keep the machine clean. It's pretty easy to take that out and put it back in. You can get your leaf blower in there and blow it out pretty easy. And like I say, you've got a little storage spot for some tools. More often than not, I just put like pieces of trash or things I find in the lawn. I put them in there until I get back to the truck and throw them in my trash bucket. So, on the deck, this 42-inch cut has got a 3-blade deck, or a 3-blade system, however you want to say it. There's 3 blades spinning around, chops all the grass up pretty good. We don't get left with a whole lot of clumps. Of course, if you're cutting in the middle of spring, everything's growing a whole lot. If you mow some grass that's a little bit tall, you might end up with some clumps. But for the most part, on like the normal average cut, it does a really good job for chopping up the grass clippings and not leaving a bunch of clumps in your lawn. So I'm pretty happy with the 3 blades. I haven't used it much for leaves yet, but I'm imagining it's going to do pretty good. And that's even with the chute being open. We've got the chutes. You know what I'm saying, the chute, but not the chute blocker. So, anyway. We've got 512 hours now on the drive belt, and I have not yet replaced it. And I think that's pretty good. You know, 500 hours on the belt. I'm afraid it could break at any time. I've got a spare ready to go, but hopefully it lasts another 500 hours. We'll see. So far, so good. I check it often, and it seems to be in pretty good condition. The emergency brake is in the handles. Whenever it's out, that means the brake is engaged. Whenever it's up like this, you're in neutral, and then you got forward, reverse, neutral, and brake. So if you put them out like that, and you can't move forward or backwards when they're like that, that's means the emergency brake is engaged. So you're not going to be able to move it very easily, and it shouldn't move on its own very easily either. If you're on a hill or whatever. Sometimes you're like going, and you get into a situation, you put it in like this, it'll stop it, it'll break it. If you're in too bad of a situation, you're going to keep going, but be careful, y'all. The fuel gauge. You've got a fuel gauge right here, so you can kind of see how much gas you've got in it. It's full right now, so you can't tell, but when it's not full, you'll see the level. deck has pieces to remove for cleaning. Okay. There's this these pieces. You can take those off. They're covering the belt and a couple of the pulleys. They pop right off and they go right back on, so it makes it good and easy for cleaning. You got a phone charger over here. I'll be honest, I've never used it. But you've got the regular USB and what I believe is, it says PD. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but you got regular USB and a PD. You got a little cup holder for your water. If you have a water bottle in here, it gets all shaken up, which is fine, but it gets warm just sitting in the sun, so it don't last very long having a bottle of water in your cup holder. But for something like this, sitting in the shade, it's pretty good. You got a little storage compartment there too. So another thing that I like about this mower, you've got an easy oil change. I'll show you guys that in a little while. You can access the filter super easy. The drain plug is right there on a little hose. Makes it super easy to drain the oil, change the filter, and refill it, you know. Oil changes are a piece of cake. The seat adjusts for, you can move it up, or you can move it back. You know, there's probably at least 6 inches of play with that for like your feet and whatnot, so you can get comfortable. The handles are adjustable. You can make them taller. That's the main thing, taller or shorter, so you can raise the height or lower it. They're about at the lowest they go right now. I probably could raise them a little bit. The blades are easy to change. I'll pop it up on those car ramps. Get under there with a socket wrench and just take them off and put some new ones on, or sharpen them and replace them, you know. So easy to change the blades. And one thing this mower has is lights. Haven't really ever got to use them. I don't mow in the dark, so I'm not really sure why they're there. But they work, and I guess they're kind of cool. Maybe when you're pulling into your shop or something like that. But we got lights. So I do have some cons. It's not a long list. Give me a minute here and I'll let you know what they all are. We got super long chute. This thing's huge. It's probably at least twice as long as it needs to be. I've had to reattach it a few times because it's so long, and I've ran into the gate or ran into something else and it came off. It's just plastic, so I had to like zip tie it, and now I've got a metal clamp tie thing on there keeping it attached with some zip ties. But yeah, not a huge fan of that big chute. The rear tires, I don't know if it's because the machine's got some weight to it or the way that it's proportioned, or if it's just the treads on the tire. I don't think it's totally that. Sometimes when I'm going, in certain situations, the back tires are spinning or have a hard time turning around. And I've changed the tires, so it wasn't the original pattern. I don't know if it's because the machine is heavier back there or not heavy enough or what it is, but sometimes my tires are just spinning. And I've got another zero turn I've done a review on. It was a little bit smaller than this one, but I didn't have those problems with the tires spinning like I do on this one. This one seems to spin a lot. So there's that. Maybe it's me, I don't know. I had to replace the deck belt, which is the one that controls the blades. That was at 335 hours. I think that's pretty good. That's not really a con. It's just something I could list in that category. 335 hours on a belt's pretty good. If we get another 335 out of the replacement belt, wow, I mean, you can't complain. If you've got a lawnmower, like a riding mower, zero turn, or a tractor style, there's gonna come a time you're gonna have to change the belt on the deck. It's just inevitable, you know? So 335 hours is pretty good. I've had to plug multiple tires. Each one of these tires, I've had to put at least 1 or 2 plugs in. And I didn't have to do that on my mower before, but that could just be a matter of where I'm mowing. It might not necessarily be the actual mower, but I have plugged all of these tires. So there is that. The front caster wheels. These front wheels up here, there are bearings, metal bearings on the inside over here. 1 on each side. So 2 with each wheel. 1 on each side of each wheel. And I have replaced every single one of them more than once. That is the biggest thing I can say about this mower that I think is a negative. I have had to replace those bearings. I've got it wrote down. I think they're 3/4. I don't want to tell you guys the wrong number, but they're these bearings. I have replaced these bearings in these front wheels half a dozen times. I think that's way too much. They are 3/4 of an inch on the inside and 1 3/8 inch on the outside. That is their diameter. And there's 2 in each wheel. And they bust from like the mower. It doesn't have the greatest suspension in the front. Sometimes you hit a bump and you're bang, bang, like you hit it pretty hard and it blows these bearings. I remember from when I was skateboarding, if you like hit the board super hard on the ground, the bearings would blow out. That's the exact same thing that's happening with these. It's the exact same thing. These are replacement bearings. The original ones blew out, the replacements have blown out. I think it's a poor design on the mower, or maybe it's just something you have to do frequently. These are only about $5 or $6 a piece, but I mean, I have replaced several of them. And that's the biggest con I can say. There's no grease zerks on the spindles, and that was the only other thing I came up with for a con. Overall, I would still buy this machine. Don't let these bearings throw you off or whatever. It's a pretty easy fix. It really is. It's just kind of annoying that you have to do it frequently. Like, this is the first time I think it was about a week ago I had to do it for the first time this year. But last year I did it like 3 times. So, it's probably a 25-30 minute procedure, maybe 15 if you're slick and you already got the pieces, but it's just a little bit annoying. So other than that, it's a super great machine. I would recommend it. I do like it. I've had a great experience with this machine, over 500 hours. We're cruising along good. I think we can get another 500 hours, no problem. We'll see how it goes, knock on wood. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm gonna do more review videos. I've got a weed eater, I've got a leaf blower, that both of those I am looking to do a review video on, and you know, I'm gonna keep doing these review videos. I did a 500-hour review on my John Deere. It was a basic entry level 0 turn. It's had some pretty good response, so go check that out if you're bored. But thanks a lot for watching. Loggers on the Land, year 5, here we are. Y'all have a great one. Thank you.